Everyone, it's your boy Ethan. Hope you're having a great day. Welcome back to another video on the channel. Today we are playing in the MGM Springfield's first $50,000 guaranteed tournament, the Touch of Luck tournament. It was absolutely huge. It was a great turnout. Chris Moneymaker was there. He played. He bought in, I think, 4 times apparently. I'm not really sure, just rumors I'm hearing. But there are 2 day ones, and how it was structured was a $350 buy-in. There was day 1A and day 1B, and 12% of both days would make on to day 2, where they would go and play for the money and all that fun stuff. So it was pretty cool, super exciting, and a lot of interesting hands, and just overall good experience. As a cash player myself, I'm just going to title myself as a cash player. I don't know how to play tournaments that well, but it was super fun just to kind of be there for it. There was a great turnout, so let's get into some interesting hands and see how it all played out for me. First of interesting hands we've got here, we actually starts at level 1. So we have 20k, starting out with 20k stacks, and blinds are 50, 100, and we have King Jack of Diamonds, and a middle position player raises to 225. I call, and the blinds call as well. So we are in position here, and the flop comes King, Jack, Queen, 2 clubs, and 1 diamond on the board. So a pretty good but super wet and just connected flop overall. So I'm not really loving it. So when it checks to me, I bet 625. The big blind and the middle position player calls. So 3 ways to the turn, and it's pretty good. It's a 3 of diamonds. So to go along with top and bottom pair, I'm going to say top and bottom pair, we have a flush draw to go along with it. So when it checks to me again, I'm going to size up pretty big here, betting out to 2,500. And now at this point, only the big blind makes the call. So we're heads up to the river, which is another queen. God damn it. That is probably the worst card I wanted to see, the last card I wanted to see. He leads out for 3,500, and it's a pretty tough spot, but this early, I think 3 minutes into the tournament, I'm going to have to fold here. Just a really bad run out, so it is what it is there. Next spot here, we are at level 3, where the blinds are 150, 300 with a 25 chip ante. Also, just wanted to say they are 30-minute levels as well, so we've been playing for quite a bit. Here in this spot, I'm in the big blind with 5-7 offsuit with only 4,000 in front. I lost a flip earlier with queens versus ace-king. It is what it is. I feel like I didn't think I had to really go over to that hand, so just wanted to mention it there. That's why I only have 4K in my stack. So it's a 4-way limped pot. I think I could maybe go all in on this spot here and there's some fold equity that I could have with 4K. But it goes 4 ways. It limps to me, and I'm just going to have to check it. The flop comes 7-6-3 with 2 hearts, though. So flopping top pair as a fairly short stack. When the small blind checks, I just shove. I go all in. There's really not much of a decision-making process at all. I don't think, at least. The cutoff makes the call, and then the small blind calls as well. So I have the opportunity to triple up in this spot, so not really hating it. The turn is a 3 of hearts, though, so the flush gets there, unfortunately. And the small blind leads out for some bet, and the cutoff folds. So just me and her. She has 6-7, and I have a straight flush draw. I guess I'm kind of still alive with the 5 of hearts out there, and the river is a queen, so we lose that one there, and we are going on to bullet number 2 that early. So for bullet number 2, Once again, we start off with 20k, but we are just super card dead, running into some pretty bad spots, and we chip all the way down to 7k here in level 5. So the antes, the 75 chip ante with the blinds being 300 and 600, and I only have 7k. So once again, I'm pretty small stack here, but we are in the small blind with pocket jacks in this spot. Under the gun player limps. A middle position player raises to 3,400 and folds to me. I easily make the jam. I just shove it all in there. The under the gun player who covers me, he rejams for however much. It really didn't matter. For just like a little bit more, maybe a couple hundred, maybe 1,000, 2,000 more. And the middle position player who initially raised makes the call. So in this spot, I once again have the opportunity to triple up. Just got to fade a few cards. So we all show. Under the gun has 9 8 of clubs, and middle position player has ace queen. So we are live. Just got to fade a couple cards, and the board comes jack 7-5 with 2 clubs. Flopping top set, but still got to fade some clubs out there, and really would have loved a brick turn, but it's not. It's a 10. So to the under the gun player, he's open-ended and a flush draw. Luckily, the river's a 9, so we scoop that one. We triple up, win a pretty big one, and we chip all the way up to around 21, 23k, given the antes. Next level here, we're in level 6, blinds being 400, 800 with a 100 trip ante. We have 27k in our stack so far, so looking to get into the mix of things with an actual decent size stack. We are in the big blind with king 10 offsuit in this spot, so full all the way to the cutoff. The cutoff ends up limping, and the small blind makes it 2,200. Ideally, that was the sizing I wanted to go with. It's a big enough where I could maybe steal it, I guess. Maybe not, actually. But either way, I had that same exact mindset, so I'm just going to call here. I'm in position of the small blind, and the cutoff calls as well, so we're 3 ways to the flop. Flop is decent. It's king deuce 6 with 2 hearts on the board. So small blind ends up leading out for 2,500, and with top pair and some flush draws on the board, I decide to raise it to 6,500. Fairly decent size raise, just trying to increase the size of the pot. It's fairly loose too, because I know my 10 kicker is almost never good in this spot if I'm against the king. So just hoping for a fold and just hoping to take it down there with top pair. But the cutoff folds, and the small blind ends up jamming for 12,350, and it is just so little left to me, and there's really not. I don't love the spot. I mean, it's my fault that I'm in this spot to begin with. I'm really just hating everything about it because it's like 6,500 more to call, and if I call and lose, I'll be kind of crippled to around like 15, 14k in my stack. But with so little left, I'm just gonna make the crying call, and so we show. I make the call, we show, and he ends up showing 2-5. 2-5. He has 2-5. He has bottom pair, and that was just like the best thing I've ever seen. So I mean, the turn and river brick out, they don't improve him at all. So we scoop that one somehow with king 10. Honestly, didn't think I was good at all in that spot, but luckily he just jammed with bottom pair, and we'll take it down. We'll take it down there. In the same level, level 6, we are in middle position with ace king off suit. So an early position player opens it up to 2,000, and I will isolate and 3-bet to 6,500. In this spot here, I'm honestly hoping to just take it down. I really don't like playing or seeing flops with ace king at all, so hopefully I'm just trying to take advantage of a very tight image because I really haven't been playing a lot of hands at all so far. But my direct left makes the call, and an early position player calls as well. So we're 3 ways to a flop. The flop, and when the pot is getting fairly big in this stage of the tournament as well. So the flop goes 8, jack 9 7 with 2 spades on the board. Early position player checks to me, and now I'm really just trying to rep an overpair, trying to get anything to fold or even a jack to fold. So I ended up betting 12 1,300, and my direct left folds. An early position player ends up tank folding queen 10. So he said he was open-ended. I'm going to assume it was queen 10. So we'll take it down there. It's taking advantage of my really tight image, and this information, this hand was actually pretty important because my direct left says to me that she folded ace king of diamonds, and that she only flatted first of all. So it becomes super important later on in the tournament as we get into more dicey spots. But her telling me that and just saying she really didn't like 3-betting or raising ever pre-flop because it's ace king just showed that she was super tight, and that was some valuable information to go on to later that kind of affects my decision making. So we'll get there. We are now at level 7 with the blinds being 500, 1,000 with a 100 chip ante. Starting stack of 55k, so chipping up, and I am under the gun with ace king offsuit again. So I'm going to open it up to 2,500, and my direct left, which I just said before, super tight player, she 3-bets me to 5k. She just min raises me, and from the information that I have so far, I'm putting her on 10s plus. 10s, jacks, queens, all very doable and all very, I guess, very up in her range. So I'm very specifically putting her on that holding because she hasn't 3-bet at all in the entire tournament, playing very tight, and honestly just kind of sucking out some people with playing a lot of ace rag and just rivering trips. But hey, she has a ton of chips in her stack, and hopefully I'm hoping to get it in. So with her, I'm playing fairly cautiously, knowing that I am behind, that she has a pair of 10s, jacks, or queens. I'm just going to flat here in this spot. I think against anyone else, I would raise fairly big, hoping to take it down. But here, I'm just going to flat, knowing I'm behind, hoping to hit an ace or a king, and then we'll move on from there. So I just make the call, and we're heads up to the flop. The flop is fairly good for me. It's 7-8 king, rainbow. I think rainbow. So I'm out of position. I'm just going to check. She bets 4,000, which is a fairly decent sized bet. I'm going to make the call here, not going anywhere with top pair, top kicker. Turn is a 9. Although it does connect the board a ton, it shouldn't really hit her range at all. It's still putting her on 10s, jacks, or queens, and even with 10s, she's open-ended, but still, I'm going to check in this spot, letting her just kind of bet and bluff at it, maybe, but she ends up checking it back. So my thinking is really based on queens, jacks, and 10s. That's literally her range, because she's afraid of me having a king, because that's what I could call with. So she checks it back, and the river is another king. Really interesting spot, great spot here. I ended up checking behind. I ended up checking it first act, hoping she would bet and not believe that I had a king. Anyways, she sizes up really big here on the river. She bets 15k. So when she sizes up this big, it's kind of fishy. Maybe she's confident that her queens are good, but when I river trips with the top kicker here, it's very interesting to what she could be just value betting with, besides just trying to take it down. So I don't believe her. I jam for about 15k more. She had about 30,000 chips left in total, and she quickly makes the call with pocket 8s. So flopped middle set and river to boat. So that's an unfortunate run out there in that spot. And I don't know if I could have gotten away. I could have gone the low variance route and just called and saved an extra 15k, but I really wanted to get all of her chips, and just unfortunately ran into a brick wall there. So never put her on 8s, never put her on something like that. I just never saw it coming. And just 2 hands later, we have about 14k in our stack. We're in the small blind, and it folds all the way to me, and it's just me and the exact same woman. The blind versus blind action here, and I have ace-9 of clubs, so pretty strong hand, honestly. I ended up opening to 4,500, fairly big, making it seem like I wanted to just steal the pot. And she makes the call, though, so not hating it. Flop comes ace, 6, 7 with 1 club on the board. So flopping top pair. I'll check it behind since I'm so strong and just wanted to catch up one way or another. Hoping to just get it in by the end. So I just check. She checks it behind. Turn is an 8 of clubs. So I pick up even more outs and a lot more equity here. A lot of the times I could just jam my 10K, 9,500 remaining. But I still want to just give her the opportunity to bet and have me check jam on the turn here in this spot. But she ends up checking it behind once again, unfortunately. And the river now is a 9. Having top 2 pair on this board, I'm way too strong to just let it check behind. So I ended up betting 7,000, hoping to get a crying call somehow. And she jams. I have 2,500 more, so I'm not going anywhere. I call with my top 2, thinking I'm good a lot of the time here, and she shows pocket 6s. Just flopped another set on me. Just 2 hands after that huge pot. So that's how we get knocked out of the tournament. Super unfortunate, and that was tough to just kind of like go through. But man, this same woman just flopped 2 sets to me, basically back to back, and just ended my tournament life there. So that was just crazy unfortunate. But that's how my tournament ended. It was super fun. Really good to just kind of play in a big tournament like that. It was super exciting and pretty good to just rack up more experience, even though I kind of blew away 2 buy-ins. But it was a good time overall. So moving on in this video, I didn't make day 2 because I busted it obviously, but I went with a good friend of mine named Zach. He ended up making day 2, and we're going to go over some of his hands and just kind of see how he's doing in it. I don't want to spoil it, but he ended up doing fairly well and running fairly deep. So we're going to go get him on the video, get him on the vlog.
We got you guys all covered.
Absolute sickness.
Wow. Yeah, it's only 3:45.
You know,
Harley, Dylan, Eric A, JFH, Alex, QT, and EY.
Raise 4,000.
We're at day 2 of the Touch of Luck 50K tournament, MGM Springfield, with my boy Zach. I busted early as I went through all the hands, but what are you at right now?
We're at over $1 million, so we have 1/4 of the chips in play, the final 10.
Final 10, chip leader, 25% of the chips. All right, what kind of hands you got going?
Well, there are 2 big hands. Blinds were at 5K, 10K with a 4K big blind. I have Ace King of Diamonds. I raise it up to 22,000. There is a guy who had, I think it was around 300K. He 3-bet me to 70K. And I opted to jam all in. And he snap called me with Ace Jack of Spades, which was interesting. And it was just a gift. It was an absolute gift. Because I don't think he really has, I think aces and kings just call a lot of the time, or maybe a small 4-bet, but not a jam all in. So I just opted to go for it, thinking I had best hand, maybe flipping against 8s or 9s, and I had him dead to rights. So that was a nice hand.
Let's go.
And then there was another one I just pulled off a big bluff. So we're 6K, 12K with a 2,000 ante. I have 9, 10 of diamonds in the cutoff. I raised to 26, 27K. The button snap calls and everyone else folds. Flop comes 8, 7 of spades and the deuce of hearts. This is a great board for me to c-bet, obviously my exact hand, but it favors his range more, so I expect to get called, which is fine because obviously we have a lot of equity. So I c-bet half pot, get called. The turn is a queen, which is good for my perceived range at the time. Obviously not the best for my hand, we don't improve. I lead for full pot this time, and he thinks about it and he folds jacks face up. So that was very exciting.
Damn, That is fucking phenomenal.
We're sitting over $1
All
million.
right, over $1 million. Bro, college kids, dreams alive for 20K up
The road
top.
to 20K, baby.
22K up
Road to
top.
20K.
Let's go. Let's get it. We'll get back inside. Up and wrap up this vlog with a huge shout out to my boy Zach. We heard from him earlier how he made it to the final table, final 10, and at the end of the day, he ended up cashing in for about $10,000, which is fucking phenomenal and huge. He ended up being in top 4. He was third in chips, and they ended up ICM shopping it up there. Just because it just didn't make sense to just be flipping for $40,000. So that was phenomenal and huge for him. And as a college student, it's just unreal to just outlast a field of 210 and a tournament that Chris Moneymaker played in multiple times. So honestly, huge shout out to him. Huge congratulations, huge props for running deep into that tournament. So that was huge. Just wanted to wrap up this video. Hopefully you enjoyed everything that went on. It was a super fun weekend, even though I didn't come out on top. But yeah, once again, congratulations to Zach. If you enjoyed, please subscribe to the channel. Let me know in the comments below what you guys thought about interesting hands, stuff like that. And if you actually played in the tournament, like how'd you guys do? I'd love to hear from that. So once again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.